Hey.
Welcome to Granite City Talent Show 2. We are here to inspire you by showcasing the various talents of the Northeast. Watch them work through the 4 main themes so you can vote for the most improved.
The first theme was goals.
On what is our talent and how are we using them to move forward?
Are you ready to meet our first performer?
How you doing? My name's Peter Wood. I'm one of the comedians on Granite City's Got Talent 2.
What are your main goals?
My main goal is just to just offer comedy and enjoy the creativity of it, and hopefully people will buy in to my creativity and my randomness and enjoy it and have a laugh.
Have you ever performed live?
I did do a solo show. I sold that out. I was very proud of that. But I'm transitioning through kind of material.
Why do you do it?
Do you know something? Also, it's as much as it's a creative process and, you know, entertaining people through COVID and that, it's also a process that I enjoy. It's a coping mechanism that we're going through just now, because I don't have any stage comedy. I don't have any audience. It's just me with a camera. But I also dedicated more time towards my family. Certainly my son and my daughter anyway. I always try and take my son. I took my son out this morning just for a wee walk. The only thing that worries me is that he has got a habit of touching things, and especially if it's like a thorny bush. But I think the problem with being a 40-year-old dad is that you've got aches and pains. So if you've got to change a nappy, you've got to come down on your knees, but you've also got to come back up. So for any dad that's older than that, I take my hat off to them.
What do you want to get from this experience?
I'm just trying to transition into being a bit more personality and a bit more me, because it's a bit robotic just now, but it's very difficult when you've got just a camera in front of you and it's like, right, go, be funny.
Thanks, Pete. I'll be sure to watch out for them thorny bushes. Now for your first performance. Let's see how you decided to interpret this week's theme.
How you doing? My name's Peter Wood, and tonight I'm speaking about goals. Because we've all got goals, haven't we? We've all had life dream ambitions and goals. Then you have children. You know, some people think that the door being locked at night, right, is to keep the burglars out. It's not. It's so men don't bolt out that door, because being parents is bloody hard work. Let me tell you now. I've not got to shirk in my responsibilities. Yeah, my kids are got to be brought up the right way. And I got to be educated. I've got a tablet coming from Amazon. You know, I used to think, right, that my dad was a very bad man, because we had 3 children, right, and he's got about 6 grandkids, and he's had nothing to do with them. And to me, I used to think, what a bad man. No, I just think he's genius. Isn't it? He's not had to pay out any money to anybody. He's not had to babysit. To me, that's a genius. But mums don't get enough dedication. Oh, my partner is an amazing mother. She does so much work with the kids. And I says to her, I says, look, do you know something, darling? You get yourself a night out and let dad deal with the jobs, okay? I'll look after the kids. You go and have a nice night out. And she left, and she came back in the door. And I was like, oh, I can't deal with this. I can't deal with this. I mean, he was throwing things down the toilet. He's dropped a vase. I was like, I can't cope with this. She's like, you kidding me? I only came back for my phone. Anyway, folks, that's Peter Wood for Granite City's Got Talent Part 2. Thank you.
Well, that's Peter, 40-year-old dad and comedian. Time to find out what a pair of judges think.
So, AJ,
Hello?
what was your overall score for Peter there?
I gave him 8.5. Am I allowed to do halves or?
Okay, so you've gone for the half, and I'm just wondering what your feedback was for Peter. What did you think overall about this?
I mean, I thought Peter engaged really well with the audience. I think he's quite confident. Yeah, as he comes across quite confident and able to speak and perform quite easily, which is great, because you need to be able to do that as a stand-up. And I think that he obviously is funny, which is obviously necessary to be a stand-up as well. But I think, and he did pick a topic which is relevant to quite a lot of people with the children and family. But I feel like he needs to maybe choose a choice of subjects and not just stick to one thing, because we saw a very small amount of what he's capable of. And that won't appeal to everybody, the whole family thing and children thing. So I think maybe having a choice of subjects in there, you know, if he is telling us jokes, maybe just to do 2 or 3 different subjects, and a slightly longer performance for us. And maybe just that I find that, you know, he's great. I really think he is good. I think he's, as I say, he's confident and engages well. I'd quite like to see him kind of laugh at his own stuff as well, because he's quite serious. And as a comedian, I'm thinking like people that I like Michael McIntyre and things. He does talk about, you know, things that everyone engages with, you know, family life and day-to-day life, but he kind of laughs at himself as well and keeps it kind of jovial. So I'd kind of like to see that a bit more in there. What did you think yourself?
I gave him a 6, so not.
Okay.
I think there's room for improvement. I thought that
Yeah.
his attitude was great, and I think the subject matter, as I agree with you, you know, it's a lot of people relate to it, especially if you're a parent, you'll relate to it. Not being a parent myself, I didn't relate as much, but I still found it quite fun, especially the joke about the granddad being the true genius. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
One of the things that I would recommend to Peter would be to work on his timing and fluidity, because I thought he was confident, but I think he actually lacked confidence in some of his jokes. He hesitated with the punchline.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It was very slight. It was very minute. So my advice to him is just own it. You're confident, but be more confident. Work on the fluidity and the timing so it flows. So you don't hesitate, and really sell it to me. And I think the material, that will come, I think, with practice and more confidence. But yeah, definitely that.
Well, that's 14.5 out of 24. It's over 50%, so that's a pass in my book. But the judges gave some constructive feedback for his next performance. Let's hear his response.
No, I agree completely. I think in his second performance, you see a bit more of me, and it's a bit more like boom, 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 rather than the pause to wait to see, because of the discussions that we've had, Sage, and certainly the one-to-one training, which I would recommend for anybody. No, I totally get what you're saying, and I think in the second performance, there's none of that stop-start things going on. It's basically like there's a confident person behind the camera, and it's not thinking about what I'm saying, and I'm just letting it roll. And I think it's more natural, and you see the creativity and the ability coming through a little bit more, and also the inner confidence and the self-confidence coming through. So I agree. I agree with comments.
So are we ready for the next performance?
I am.
The judges are ready. What about you guys? Now for our next performer at LAC. I'll let him introduce himself.
My name is Lee Carnegie, also known as Lack, and my talent is indeed custom arts and upcycle projects. Anything that you can think of, basically, if you want to throw away, I'll pull and make something out of it.
You might know the name of this. It's called Snow White. Where's the 7 dwarfs?
What got you into this particular area?
Back when I grew up, I was rubbish at everything, but art was my passion.
What is it about art?
My dad, when he used to make things out of nothing, I started trying to get ideas from him. I get up really, really early. As stupid a clock. It's still dark, even though it's winter time. It's dark anyway. I started doing doodles. I do anything to get my mind going, even if I have a 3-hour sleep or even 5 hours sleep. I always get an idea I want to get on paper or make something out of. As long as I have it, then I'll make it.
Thanks for sharing that with us, LAC. Let's see what you whip up for today's theme.
As it's so close to Halloween, I think I'll try and do something Halloweeny. And Just gonna see what can we use. I think I found something. Leave that. Change my idea. I'm going to do this. The canvas is dry-ish. See, I'm just basically drawing what I've got here. All what to do now is add the paint. For someone who got me into upcycling is my dad. My dad is the one who made things out of nothing. Absolutely nothing. Dad literally made a pump out of old containers and he uses it for his fish pond. He even made flower pots from old chemical drums, and which right now I have actually got a few of them myself. Like all artists, Banksy, my graffiti one, my favourite graffiti one. I like Van Gogh. Very nice things. Leonardo da Vinci.
Well, that's skull-tastic. Let's see what the judges say.
I thought he came across as a really genuinely lovely guy who is clearly very talented. I love the upcycling, absolutely love it. Do a little bit myself. So, but this, you know, I was listening to his story. I thought it was very refreshing. I loved what he did. However, I can see how talented he is, and I would really like to see more of what he can do. You know, I feel that he could really push this and go somewhere and you know, get this out there for everybody in and around Aberdeen and the Shire and further afield to see his talents, and I would like to see him grow.
Absolutely.
And what did you think?
Agree 100% with you. Like, I think he could be such an inspiration for a lot of young and aspiring artists to get things that are otherwise going to be thrown away, go to waste, to then create something beautiful from that. I think that is like that is the creativity. I think to do something that is otherwise, what is it? One person's trash is another person's treasure, you know. And I think to do that, I think that's just incredible. So, what do you think could potentially improve upon for the next performance?
I would like to see more intricate detail, because I believe that he could absolutely do that. I loved what he produced there, I really did, but I would really like to see some more attention to detail. And I also like to see a little bit of his trademark in there. Something very unique to him, something that, you know, he can put out there and say, this is my trademark, this is what I do. Because I'd like to see that confidence grow.
Yeah, wow, that's a really cool point. I never thought of that. Yeah, something that has got a stamp on it, that people go, like Banksy there, he was talking about Banksy in that video. Well, he needs something that's, you know, people see it and they go, oh, that's lack, that's LAC right there. Do you know what I loved about the camera work was actually pretty cool. How he did like some close-ups and he kind of teased the final product. You know, he didn't quite show us the whole thing. He kind of showed it part of it. So I think that was great. One thing I think would be brilliant is doing more of the final product, seeing more of the final product, and maybe talking. He was talking and explaining who he was, but I would have loved to have seen a bit more on what he was doing and his sort of rationale and reasoning behind it. You know, so I think that's going forward. I would totally agree with you there. I think that's brilliant. I haven't really got much to say. I think you're right. He needs more confidence and just to put his own stamp on it. I think that'd be brilliant.
Yeah. But I agree absolutely with what you said there, that it would be really nice to hear him talk about his finished drawing or what he chooses to do in the future for us. I would like to hear him speak about why he did that and how he came to that decision and what his little story is about that, because as you say, he had a story about the past and why he does and who inspired him. But it would be lovely to see how he got to where he did and why he chose that particular drawing for us. So yeah, that was a really, really nice point there.
All right, AJ, so what was your score?
Mine was 7 out of 12.
Oh, right.
And yours?
12. 6 out of 12. Not too different, but yeah.
No, not at all.
Yeah, so 13 points altogether. Brilliant.
That's brilliant. Well done.
Well, that's 13 out of 24 from the judges. Now for our first musician of the evening, Morgano. Let's find out about his goals.
Well, my name is Morgano. Talent is music. I've just moved into Aberdeen as well, and I've really liked it. I've admired the music scene of Aberdeen for many years.
Where does your inspiration come from?
Music has inspired me for a long time. My father was a musician, and he played drums. I play drums, but for some reason I got good at other instruments, and guitar was one of them. So many artists and musicians that have inspired me, just listening for hours and hours and hours every day. And yeah, inspires me to learn their music so I can create my own. I lived out in the countryside. It was so awesome. You could just play all night, and I'm sure like my dad hated me for a long time just for the sake of me not knowing how to put like a beat together. But you know, it eventually changed after a long time. You know, I was a little bit too
How do you come up with ideas?
shy, and I'm still working on that. It's like I'll have this idea, I'll try and show my mate or whatever, let them listen online, and they don't say anything, so I'm like, I've got to do it again.
What's your dream?
I've always had the dream of like having a kind of a studio, a proper, really good one, but you know, that would be way out in the countryside or something like that, so it can still make as much noise and you can distance yourself from people, the city. Great.
Now for the performance.
Hey,
That's better.
my favourite rocking out chair, got the acoustic, chilled out vibes, and I'll play one of my songs called Even Great Trees Fall. So hopefully it goes to plan.
Well, thank you for that smooth performance. Let's hear what the judges have to say.
I really enjoyed the performance. He's clearly very talented. But at this stage, because it's the first performance, I obviously want to see him come out of his shell more, and I want to see more of his capabilities. And so I was really, really happy with the overall performance, but I do think that there is obviously room for improvement. I would like to see what else he can do. And also, it was quite short, so I would like to hear more because I thought it was amazing. And I'm very much looking forward to hearing more. And I think because the show is going on over a period of time, there's room to grow. So I don't want to go straight in there with like a really high score. I want to give I want him to grow as we go along. So, well, I would like to see more of himself as well. So I very much like they could hear the music and everything, but I would like to see more of him and more of his personality coming through as well. So I know his personality is coming through his music, but I would like to see more of him.
I thought that the guitar playing had a lot of dynamics. He had it in a really nice deep tuning by the sounds of it. I think it was standard tuning, but it was just drop deep. And that gave it a really sort of driving, meditative feel about it. I also thought he had the descending bass line and the rhythm, so it was very rhythmic, and the melody itself was kind of in the rhythm and the bass. But I kind of think it was leading up to something. I felt like it was building up to something, and it never quite sold itself on that. So I think my suggestion is that it was a little bit too short. I felt like it kind of undersold itself, and it left me a little bit, it left me wanting more, let's put it that way. But at the same time, I was also a little bit disappointed because I was expecting something, a bit of a crescendo, a bit of a bang, and it never quite sold itself. So going forward, I would maybe recommend Morgano add something a bit spicy, because I love his technique. I love his fingerstyle technique. I just think that a bit longer and maybe add something spicy in there, or maybe a bit more of a melody, or just lengthen it. I think he would have got almost a perfect score if he did that. Okay, what did you give Morgano?
I gave him 9.
Oh, I gave it 8. So that's 9 plus 8, 7.
Wow.
That's a good score.
That is a really good score. Yeah.
Well done, Morgano.
Really good. Well done.
Well deserved.
17 out of 24. Not bad. That is the highest score yet. Well done, Morgano. We'll find out next week if he can fulfill the judge's request. Now for our youngest contestant. Who are you?
So my name is Stuart Veach. I'm 13 years old and I like to sing and play the guitar.
What is your main goal?
My main goal is just to make people happy when I perform, and I like to see the smile on top of their faces when I perform. And I've also been diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when I was 7 years old, so I want to show my friends and family that it can't stop me from achieving my dream.
Have you ever played live?
I've been doing like a lot of virtual competitions. Like I've been doing like a Doric competition. I've been playing at nursing homes and stuff, and I was playing at the Thursday clap when we did the clap for the NHS, and I played at the Aspiring Aberdeenshire Awards, and I've been doing a lot on Facebook on Lockdown Live, and I like to write songs about stuff that happened in my life. So I just recently wrote one about my sister leaving for university. I just like to practice my guitar, fiddle, and piano.
Where do you have like an ideal concert? Do you watch concerts now? Is there an ideal concert that you'd want to do in
Not really.
say, 5 years time?
Not really.
Not really. Anything? Okay.
Wembley.
I'm sure your sister has some ideas of concerts. Is there any concerts your sister would like to see you in?
My dad wants me to be in Glastonbury.
Is that what you do, Glastonbury? Nice. That would be cool. That would be cool.
What do you want to get from this experience?
Wants to be and just take every opportunity that I can take and show my talent to everybody and what I can do.
Stuart, he's a good kid. Ready for his performance?
This is my first performance and I'm going to sing This Is Me from The Greatest Showman. Hope you enjoy. I'm not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken bars. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away,
Holy wow, men. Well done, Stuart. Let's see what the judges have to say.
That is
Amazing.
absolutely unbelievable. Like,
Yeah.
what's your comments, AJ?
He makes me smile so much. Like I sat and enjoyed every second of that. And but the only reason that I decided to give a 2 in the bud is because, and this is not a bad thing, this is where I think that I would like to see him improve, is that he is quite shy and quiet before he goes on, and yet as soon as he sings, he belts it out, and it's amazing, right? And I suppose I shouldn't really do this, but I compare him to, it's like similar to me, is I am actually a shy person, but when I'm singing, I really belt it out, and I love to see that. But I would like to see his confidence, because he's 13. I'd like to see him go on, because he has such a stage presence. But I want to see that shyness kind of go, and I want to see more confidence come out, that when he goes on, he is as confident, or maybe not quite as confident, and but almost as confident in his kind of introduction and his at the end saying thank you, as he is when he's singing, because he has this, he's amazing, he's so talented. I suppose that was the only way I could really see him grow, because I can't, to play an instrument like that at that age and sing as well is an incredible talent. So I can't give him any more I can't give him anything else to strive to, other than just to have his confidence up there, and just to be so confident as to who he is, because he's amazing. Sorry, I went on a bit.
Yeah. You know,
what do you think yourself?
He's just got so much talent at that age. He's got. I mean, I'm speechless. I've given him. I'm trying to think of something constructive and positive to say to him that he already hasn't got. And as you say, he's got such a stage presence. He's got such a powerful voice, and
he does.
From a musical perspective, from an instrumentalist perspective, his guitar playing, rhythm, and his timing is on point. He's dynamic. So he was leaving pauses for effect. That's maturity, to play guitar like that. And I think, along with his singing, that's just unbelievable. I am so jealous that he can do that at 13, and I'm still struggling to go anywhere near like that. So the only thing I would recommend is that, and he will do this, he will get better and better and better. And so just incorporate different techniques in his guitar playing, and that is really picking at straws there. So just incorporate a bit of single note melodies, a bit of arpeggios, a bit of power muting, something that can just make it a bit more dynamic, and but again, that is something that he'll develop. And
absolutely, he's so young, young.
I am just stunned by it. I'm really stunned.
Yeah, he really is amazing. Yeah,
really is. and more confidence. Go on the stage, and he really does. He needs to have his shoulders back, and he needs to really embrace it, because he just comes alive when he's playing there, you know. So
he really does. It's like he completely. You think you see this little quiet, shy young lad, but when he gets going, he's amazing. He makes it his own. I just sat and enjoyed every second of that, and he literally made me smile so much, as you will see when you see the video. But he's absolutely wonderful, and he needs to know he's wonderful. That's what I would like to see.
Yeah, you're wonderful. Don't ever forget.
You're wonderful. This is what we need. We need people to find themselves at this young age, and we need to make them grow and know that they're good and they're special.
Really?
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. It was special. It was very special.
The judges forgot to mention their score, but it was 20 out of 24. Well done, Stuart. Everyone received constructive feedback, which we hope will be implemented in next Monday's show at 7 p.m. The theme will be Source of Your Passion. Find out what inspires them and how they decide to portray it. Until then, get voting for your favourite contestant by sharing their picture on Facebook from our album, or by using our web form to vote. Support Granite City Talent Show via our crowdfunder page to give local talent a platform, or by buying yourself a cool hoodie. #SupportLocal.